Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be on the other end of a phone call where someone's life hangs in the balance? Today, we are diving into the most disturbing emergency calls that will make you question the very nature of reality and safety. In this video, we'll uncover real-life horror stories that unfold through terrifying calls to emergency services. From the chilling whispers of an unknown presence closing in on a lone woman in a remote cabin to the blood-curdling scream that shatters the peace of a quiet suburban neighborhood, each story is more unsettling than the last. Prepare yourself for a journey into the shadowy corners of human fear and desperation. These calls are not just stories, they are real encounters that push people to the brink of terror. As you listen, you'll find yourself holding your breath, gripped by the sheer intensity and suspense of each situation. Stay with us as we reveal the horrifying details of these phone calls, one by one, and uncover the truths that will haunt your thoughts long after the video ends. Buckle up, because this is going to be a roller coaster ride through the most bone-chilling emergency calls ever recorded. In Eagle River, Alaska, Sarah Johnson was alone in her remote cabin on a stormy night when she made a desperate call to emergency services. As the wind howled and thunder crashed, Sarah whispered into the phone, her voice trembling with fear. She reported hearing a series of haunting whispers from the darkness outside her cabin, whispers that grew closer with each passing moment. The malevolent tone of these whispers sent chills down her spine, creating a palpable sense of impending danger. Emergency services responded promptly, dispatching a patrol unit to Sarah's remote location. When the officers arrived, they conducted a thorough search of the area, but found no signs of any intruders or sources of the whispers. Sarah, though visibly shaken, was unharmed. The incident remains unexplained, leaving both Sarah and the emergency responders with an eerie sense of unease. In a quiet suburban neighborhood in Springfield, Illinois, Mark Thompson made an eerie call to emergency services, describing a blood-curdling scream coming from his neighbor's house. The call began with an unsettling silence, punctuated only by Mark's heavy breathing. The scream was filled with agony, and the sudden eerie silence that followed was suffocating. Emergency services responded swiftly, sending officers to the scene. When they arrived at the neighbor's house, they found the door ajar and signs of a struggle inside. The occupant, a woman in her mid-30s, was found unconscious but alive. She was taken to the hospital where she later recovered. It was discovered that she had been attacked by an intruder who fled the scene before the police arrived. The attacker was never found, leaving the neighborhood in a state of heightened vigilance. In Plano, Texas, Emily Roberts, a young mother, made a heart-wrenching call to emergency services from her quiet suburban home. The call began with frantic sobbing and the muffled cries of her child in the background. Emily described a chilling encounter with an unknown intruder in her home, her voice quivering with fear as she begged for immediate help. Emergency services responded immediately, dispatching police officers to Emily's address. Upon arrival, they found signs of forced entry but no intruder in sight. Emily and her child were unharmed but deeply traumatized by the experience. The police conducted a thorough investigation but were unable to identify the intruder. Security measures in Emily's neighborhood were increased following the incident, but the sense of safety was irreparably shaken. An anonymous caller in Crestline, California, delivered cryptic messages and warnings during an urgent call to emergency services. The caller's voice trembled with fear, hinting at an unseen threat lurking in the shadows. Speaking in riddles, the caller warned of impending danger and a presence that could be felt but not seen. Emergency services dispatched units to the location provided by the caller. Upon arrival, the officers found the area deserted, with no immediate signs of danger. The caller could not be traced, and the nature of the threat remained ambiguous. The incident left both the emergency responders and the local community puzzled and uneasy, as the lack of concrete evidence added to the mystery. During a frantic call to emergency services, a caller in Athens, Ohio, recounted a terrifying encounter with an unknown entity. The call began with the sound of heavy breathing and frantic footsteps. The caller described shadowy figures lurking in the darkness and unexplained scratches and bruises appearing on their body. Emergency services responded quickly, sending both police and medical personnel to the scene. The caller was found in a state of shock, with visible injuries that could not be immediately explained. After being treated for their injuries, the caller provided a detailed account to the investigators, but no physical evidence of an intruder was found. The case was left unresolved, adding to the mystique and fear surrounding the encounter. In the climax of our journey, we confront the most intense and unsettling call of the video. This call from Salem, Massachusetts, features shocking revelations and unprecedented aspects that push the boundaries of fear and terror. The caller described unexplained phenomena and inexplicable occurrences that filled every moment with dread. Emergency services responded, sending a team to investigate the claims. They found the caller in a state of extreme distress, surrounded by what appeared to be signs of a struggle and unusual markings on the walls. Despite a thorough investigation, no logical explanation could be found for the phenomena described. The case remains one of the most perplexing and disturbing in the annals of Salem's history, blurring the line between reality and the supernatural. In this video, we've delved into the chilling world of the most disturbing phone calls to emergency services, uncovering real-life horror stories that blur the line between reality and nightmare. From haunting whispers to silent screams, each call revealed terrifying encounters that will linger in your thoughts. As we recap these bone-chilling stories, we're reminded of the sheer horror and fear that gripped the callers in their moments of desperation. These encounters remind us of the unknown dangers that lurk in the shadows, waiting to attack when we least expect it. Reflect on these real-world encounters and consider their impact on those who experience them. Let these stories be cautionary, urging us to remain vigilant and prepared for any unforeseen dangers. To continue exploring the darker side of reality and uncovering spine-tingling tales, subscribe to the Phantasmal Eternity channel, like this video, and share it with your friends and family. By spreading awareness of these haunting calls, we can ensure their stories are not forgotten, and that we remain vigilant in the face of the unknown. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the depths of real-life horror.